quiet.
All right, fight fans, now in the cage, what you've all been waiting for. Here we go. It's time for the SparStar 55 main event of this evening, presented to you by SparStar Promotions. Now in the cage, 3 rounds of mixed martial arts for the vacant SparStar Promotion and California State featherweight title. This bout is sponsored in part by Combate Global. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Larry the Sheik Landless. And now, introducing to you first, on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing leopard print trunks. He is training out of Black House MMA in Gardena by way of Newbury Park. He weighed in 144 pounds. His record, 5 wins, only 1 defeat, with all 5 wins coming by way of stoppage. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Christian Dighero! His opponent across the cage, on my right, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing black trunks trimmed in red and white. He is training out of Cage Combat Academy, Victorville, California. He weighed in 143 pounds. He brings to the cage a record, 3 wins, only 1 defeat, with all 3 wins coming by way of stoppage. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Dylan Morales! Once again, our referee, Larry the Sheik Landless, to give final instruction.
Okay, here are my instructions. Give me a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Any question, blue corner. Any question, red corner. Touch gloves. Let's rock and roll.
Well, I think the crowd's excited, John.
Yeah, this, I'm not sure if you guys can hear this at home, but they are just shouting, everyone's standing. This is quite something to see. If you've never been to a SparStar before and you're anywhere near Commerce Casino, I highly recommend you come out and see it in person. And here we go. We've got Christian Dighero in the blue, Dylan Morales in the red. Dylan, it looks like I expected to see a larger, more obvious height differential, but looks more similar than I expected. The kicks of Dylan, oh, good slips from Dylan too, are very strong. I'm really curious to see how Christian deals with that.
You're noticing Christian's doubling up on not only his checks, but also the amount of kicks that he's starting to land on this. I think he saw a few of those come through, and what I like about it is the way that Dylan can, nice movement there. Jeez, these guys are so fast.
Yeah, Christian is very fast. Yep.
He bum rushes him up against the cage right now. Not really utilizing that underhook here, but Christian reverses that Kenny Bolt wrestling coming in handy right now. As right now, Dylan doesn't have too much of a defense. This is a big opportunity for Christian. If he can take advantage of this moment, this would be a very telling moment in the fight for him.
Yes, surprised Christian is, so he's moving over to the side. He's really jacking up to his underhook and trying to be heavy on Dylan's underhook. Dylan putting that hand in, getting low, but Christian is getting Dylan out of position. Not sure if he's going to go for a knee tap off of that or just going to try to move away from him and drag him away from the cage.
I mean, it's very difficult because now both of them are trying to implement some kind of advantage. Christian may be able to finish this, but he needs to cut the angle because he does find himself in an opportunity where if he messes up,
he's in a good takedown
Dylan
position now. Yes,
could take the back, but
gets Dylan down. Now collects his hands, locks them underneath the hips. Great for taking your opponent down. Able to do it repeatedly. Not able to keep him down yet.
He is hitting the Street Fighter repeat button multiple times here, pressing him back up against the cage. And you know what? That does start to get exhausting, John.
It gets very exhausting, and good job from Dylan digging that underhook in the transition. We got a fight on our hands here.
We do, and here's the thing. Most people don't understand what it's like to pummel like this. This pummeling gets exhausting, and not only the pummeling, but then trying to implement something with those grips. Because as easy as this may be to finish in a gym, it is not easy to finish inside of a cage.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a lot of experience with cage wrestling because it is a different animal.
Yeah.
Good wrestlers can still get taken down against the cage because the rules are different.
And that was actually a really smart read there from Dylan to start throwing in some of those strikes.
Yeah, not a lot of time left.
I think he recognized, man, maybe I should have been doing this 50 seconds ago. But it is a very nice positional dominance from Christian in that regard. But not a ton of damage either way just yet. Now, if you're looking at this with Dylan, maybe you go back to those kicks. Maybe you recognize that that was a little bit more successful for you in landing because you were able to create some distance. And again, you notice that Christian can get you up against that cage, and he's not going to give you that position back if you stay there. So one thing I do want to say, though, Dylan was contorting his body multiple times to make it harder to just pick him up and lift him and bring him down. And you'll notice that there was about 4 times in a row where Christian was picking him up and trying to land that takedown, and he would, only to be shot right back up 2 seconds later. So I think that Dylan had a very, very good response for that because most people would not be able to shoot up like that multiple times.
Yeah, and Christian has looked on form to make his matches part of a highlight reel in his previous matches, and so far that first round did not go the same way. So I'd be really curious to see if that affects the way that Christian fights the rest of these matches. So we still got 2 rounds left to go.
Now notice Dylan's chasing him a little bit more. And Christian throwing a couple jabs here to make sure, hey, don't come on the inside. I don't want you in this space. Ooh. Nice land there from Dylan again on the kicks.
Beautiful head kick.
Under pressure, where does Christian go? Right back to the cage. And this time, much better attempt on getting that trip there.
Yeah, he's got double unders and really was snaking around that leg to the outside very well. I look for a drag down, but Dylan might try to Uchimata through this one. Going to try to hop
almost just reverse the position on him there, John.
Yeah, but he's still, Christian still has double unders, so not necessarily, it's just able to
reversal.
Just to turn.
I want to point this out.
Back.
I want to feel like in the middle of those rounds that Christian got some good guidance from Kenny Bolt. Oh, but a beautiful return there from Dylan.
That Harai Goshi was fantastic. And now going into the leg game, they're in 50-50 right now. Look for heel hooks here on that inside leg.
So are you able to do that at the amateur level, John?
Good question. You actually might not be able to. I'm so used to coaching Brady as professional, but yeah, I mean, if you can't heel hook, then you can just leave those things dangling. Oof. Looking to come up on a single here.
Now here's where things get interesting. Dylan is a brown belt. Very solid grappler. Now, this is something that you hand a grappler this position, and it makes Christian have to work, and he is finding his ways, climbing back up, eats like a knee real quickly, but pushes right back up against the cage again. Just excellent work.
Barely able to stay on his feet still, and look for that Uchimata again. Nice punches to the face from Dylan, and he's able to get those off without compromising his stability.
Here's what's great. Christian had a moment where things were not going his way, goes right back to his bread and butter. Like literally, talk about sticking to a game plan, literally returns right back to it. And again, now Dylan has to work to try and get the grips back to go to where he was best in this round. And isn't getting it yet, but we did see him hit that Uchimata earlier, so there is a lot of uncertainty as to how this can transpire.
If he can pull Dylan's ankle away, he can start to get him down. His spine is in such a bad position, though.
Yeah.
Now he's starting to straighten it out. He's got to worry about this Kimura grip from Dylan. Goes back on the single leg. And Christian, I feel like he really needs to finish this takedown. And he does.
Yeah.
He completes it right at the buzzer. But man, this one's going to be tough to score going into this last round.
I have to say, one of my favorite parts of watching amateurs who train with pros is the moment they go, oh right, I can't do this at the amateur level. Like the course correction that happens in their head where they go, oh right, elbows? No. Looking at Christian being like, I can't hit some of these leg attacks. And who's to say how any of that would have gone? But from the evidence of what we've seen here, a much better round for Dylan. If you're looking at that, how he was able to make the correction into coming round 2. Christian, though, completely still in this, completely still making a statement by being able to say, hey, I can still get you up against that cage. Now we're going to get into weird, quantifiable things. Damage, how much control, how long? How long did you stay there? Do they count those strikes that he was able to hit? And more
Here
importantly,
we go, the third and final
when
round.
you look at how this fight comes in the summation, we're back to a third round where it's going to be very telling. So if you are Christian, you probably want to utilize that cage. Hopefully you can get that takedown. If you're Dylan, you're counting on that Uchimata again. But I think Dylan might want to keep this standing up. Oof.
Man, just narrowly missed with that kick, too.
It's his ability to read it. I think he's able to see the extension happening before it fully extends all the way. Like, I think he has an excellent ability to read some of those kicks because Christian has good power on him.
Christian's pretty fast, too.
Nice.
Eats that left straight right down the middle, though. Curious to know how many southpaw strikers Christian was sparring with leading up to this, because it's just it's so difficult to prepare for. Meanwhile, Dylan trained with orthodox fighters all day long.
Nice.
Oh, narrowly misses that kick.
Yep.
Well slipped from Dylan. Stays in the pocket, looks to throw damage. Connects on a couple.
But just the way that Dylan is fighting at this moment, it is forcing Christian to be a different fighter right now than perhaps he was planning to come, or at least showed in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, Dylan is, man, very impressive here. And Christian is able to come up. He's got
That's
it.
a choke.
He has to give up the position to stop that choke. I can't see if it's still on, though.
It is hard to see it from this angle. He may just be out of immediate danger, but
he needs
that's
to
still
keep,
locked on.
He needs to
John.
keep rotating.
Yeah.
He needs to violently rotate. Okay, the arms are out. He's out of the choke. He's still in this fight. He's going to look to take the back if he can get a hook in. Can't get it. Turning away. He needs to get his hips high and start turning back looking for underhooks.
So now he's probably going to cage walk if he can. And that Dylan is taking advantage of this opportunity, but ducks down now. This is bad.
This was really smart from Christian. That's exactly what he needed to do. He needs to worry about getting his arm out of there. This triangle is so close. If Dylan can get that leg out.
That is a legit threat here, John. He has to be careful of his arm as well. So the positioning right here, 55 seconds is a lot of time to work. He has that
this one
underhook
is
on the leg.
deep too, I think. Oh man, he's hooking the leg. He's only crossed at the ankle. He's going on the arm now. Christian needs to move. He needs to get out of here.
And he needs to get
way jump to that
closer
far
up to his
side.
knees. Yep.
Or he should start shucking, pulling that arm out.
He essentially found himself back in that triangle, John.
Yeah, he's got that elbow nice and deep and wide to that far side, but that'll only buy him time from here.
Yeah.
And also Dylan can go on the arm at any time. And now this triangle's starting to get really, really tight.
Oh, Dylan aggressively going down, and there's blood pouring down. And look at this. Christian, even in the triangle, doing the best that he can to try and create some strikes, even in danger.
Good hammer fist.
And he may just make it out throughout the entire fight. So now it's going to come down to how they view the totality of this. But it is going to end strong for Dylan Morales. What an excellent third round for him. Both fighters paying each
Man.
other some respect, and as they should.
Good fight. Both fighters looking fantastic, but what a way to end it for Dylan Morales.
Man, that's a tough fight in total to score. Here's some considerations. Dylan looked very strong in that third round, the most dominant of all the rounds. However, throughout, Christian, very, very positionally smart, very, very effective in his moments. Dylan, though, snuck in some strikes in those areas, so in some way, now we're at a realm of uncertainty, but you have to think, depending on how people judge this, if you look at that third round, this is a Dylan Morales fight. But there is a path, there is a possibility that Christian could have won it. It's just, man, what a powerful third round for Dylan. I really want to make sure we pay due respect to that.
He looked fantastic in this fight. And I know it's not a great way to judge a fight based on the damage that's laid on the face, because things can play into that, like scar tissue, etc. But, I mean, Christian looking pretty bloodied and beat up, and Dylan looking pretty fresh. Dylan looking so good throughout this match, but both of these guys really had a good back and forth. No clear winner really until at least the round 3. This is a good takedown attempt here from Christian. Good catch from Dylan.
Yeah.
Return, missed that, but a great counter right into a takedown and gets double unders with it.
Now, Uchimata, again, was really impressive. The hard part was it didn't stay there for the duration of it.
Yeah, that one in particular, that was the Harigoshi where he's around that outside leg and able to stay on top through it. The other Uchimata attempts that I think that he had didn't really result in the same way. And here is this position where Christian was doing the right things, but his spine was so misaligned, it was very difficult for him to capitalize on it. Great slipping of that kick and staying right there so he can return.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a main event. Give it up for Heather Soto and Tony Padilla for putting on such a great show. Once again, let's give both fighters a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have our decision. All 3 judges cage side scored the bout 29-28 in favor of our winner. They are the new SparStar Promotion and California State featherweight champion, Dylan Morales!
It is very difficult to disagree with this, as my man is overburdened by some gold, some weight on his shoulders, and he's trying to put that on his coaches. He's trying to share that, and his coaches put it right back on him because they want to make sure this moment is about him. What a beautiful display between him and his team, and you're seeing a great, nice little moment between the group. Everybody getting together for the photo op. We'll hear from Dylan here in just a second, but what a spectacular fight. And if you really think back to why he was so calm in that stare down between the two of them when they were interviewed, you saw the night why.
Buddy. Dylan Morales. You gotta get up to these guys. 2 warriors in the ring. Dylan, brother, what a fight. How do you feel?
I feel ecstatic. My opponent, Christian, don't keep your head down, bro. You're doing a fucking wonderful fight. Way to keep fighting. Other than that, I feel good. I'm gonna be a little bit selfish. I won these for me, no one else.
Feeling kind of heavy, right?
Huh?
Feeling kind of heavy.
A little bit.
So what's next, brother? What's gonna happen next here?
Let's go to the next fight.
Any shout outs to any of your sponsors, anybody out there you like to get?
My mom, obviously. My first mom. Nothing hurts. My dad. I love you, Dad. house in my corner, Albert, Alex, Jake, Shondell, my brother Mike out there.
And don't forget all your fans out there.
All my fans, all my students. One last thing, happy birthday to everyone that came for their birthday to see me fight. Happy birthday, I love all of you guys.
Once again, folks, your new featherweight champion, Dylan Morales.